What do you make of sources say Jim Harbaugh is leaving for the NFL?
Well, first of all, it's the easiest sources say for people to do. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't have sources, but it's the easiest thing to do because there's always somebody willing, either connected to Harbaugh or not connected to Harbaugh, or, he still has that itch. I don't think there's been, well, there can't be anything formal between him and somebody else, or that would be a violation of his contract. So I don't think, unless people are fudging with words, I think, like always, hey, if you want to call, feel free to call. But I don't think his intention has been to leave. He has, though, from what I understand, recently hired an agent for the first time. And you know what? Maybe all this money around in college football, all these gigantic contracts and NFL, and maybe he finally realized, maybe I should at least have an agent. Am I missing out on something like incredible that I should at least find out what's out there? That to me is a little bit of a clue that he supposedly hired an agent. And doesn't mean it's real as far as him leaving. I think it's always been real that he would always have his ears open. I mean, I know he said one thing, I'll be back in 23, and then he said another thing, but no man knows the future. So I don't think there's anything imminent or definite or anything like that, but yes, never say never.
He did tell the Queen City News, which is in Charlotte, quote, although no one knows the future, I think I'll be coaching Michigan next year.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Which is pretty much what he said in December before with the Fiesta Bowl conference call, that I'll be enthusiastically back in 23, but no man knows the future. I do think, there's a wearying effect, and fatigue sets in with fans and maybe even the Michigan administration to a certain degree. But they also know he brought them back-to-back Big Ten titles, so I think they'll put up with it for a while.
And recruiting for not so much the 23 class, but for the 24 class. These guys want to know, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt. And it didn't hamper him. I know people, they didn't have a top 10 recruiting class this year, but they had a top 1 transfer portal recruiting class, which counts these days, although not in the high school recruiting. So we'll see. It can't go on too long, though. That would be detrimental.